Hey everyone, Richard from Digital Foundry here, looking at the Core i3-6100 using the new BIOS that allows for base clock overclocking. And we're using an MSI Gaming M5 Z170 board here, but we suspect that other manufacturers, ASRock for one, will be bringing their base clock overclocking BIOSes online, if they haven't already. So, first up, a quick outline of the GPU we're using in our tests here. In all cases, we're running at 1080p on max settings with an overclocked NVIDIA Titan X. The aim here is to remove the GPU as the bottleneck so we can see raw CPU performance. Now, you will see some wacky frame times here, and that's generally what happens when you're CPU bound. It really is much more preferable to make GPU the limiting factor in general gaming, or else set a hard frame rate limit of your choosing. So, let's talk i3 overclocking specifically. Essentially, clock speed on a CPU is defined by two factors: the base clock, which is typically 100 MHz, and the multiplier, which on the i3-6100 is set to 37. So that's 37 multiplied by 100, giving 3.7 GHz. Now, the multiplier is locked on all non-K chips, but recent BIOS upgrades by motherboard manufacturers allow for base clock tweaks on any socket 1151 CPU. Here we have the i3-6100 running at 4.4 GHz by overclocking base clock from 100 MHz to 120, and beyond that we had real stability issues. So basic maths here, 120 times 37, the multiplier, that gives us the 4.4 GHz. 2 cores, 4 threads, now this could be very interesting. The limiting factor to the overclock comes from our memory here. We're using 2666 MHz modules with the overclock, however RAM has its own multiplier, and that's had to come down to remain stable. We could match the i3 with faster RAM to improve performance still further, but at this point reality has to kick in. The fastest DDR4 costs a lot of money, and it's highly unlikely that you'd pair it with a budget chip like the i3. 2666 MHz modules don't cost much more than standard 2133 MHz sticks, so it's the obvious choice for testing here. Regardless, we're getting some good results. The i3-6100 is a great budget CPU to begin with, and the ability to power past its theoretical limits and hit 4.4 GHz is remarkable. Paired with affordable DDR4, it's a really nice sweet spot. But remember, you are going to need that Z170 board to get the job done. Lower level motherboard chipsets just won't do the job. Now, what will surprise some is that in some titles, just running with overclocked memory gives a substantial performance boost. Indeed, in The Witcher 3 with the Core i3 running at stock speeds, paired with 2666 MHz RAM, on its native 20x multiplier, well, this actually gives slightly improved performance over our 4.4 GHz overclock. And this is an outlier, but we confirmed it with multiple tests. By contrast, Crysis 3 shows that the processor overclock hands in extra performance, while the memory overclock alone doesn't. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this particular video. It was fun to put together. And we also have more i3 overclocking benchmarks elsewhere on the channel. Come on, don't you want to see how this compares to prior generation i5s? We've got you covered there. We also have a Crysis 3 CPU test where the i3 is paired with something a little less crazy than the Titan X, the GTX 970 specifically. Right, well, we'll leave you with the rest of the benchmarks. Check out the video description below for hot links to take you to each of the featured games in the video. As always, do like and subscribe to support our work, but in the meantime, thanks for watching.
It's on you to take it.
You! Get back here with my keys! Thieves!
And if all other plans fail, why not sacrifice yourself for the cause, your life for his? Before Altair, that was the Levantine approach.
You mean a dagger in broad daylight as I'm cut down where I stand?
Sends a powerful message.
I'll do it my way.
Whatever you think best, assassin.
What the hell?
There's a gun underneath the dashboard! Use it!
Are we safe?
Probably not. On your right! Shoot! Them!
Fucking hell!
Watch out!
Psycho! This train is full of highly explosive material.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
This is your plan?
Yeah.
Come on, you bastards!
got a SAM launch at our 12 o'clock, over. Contact! Deploying swarm countermeasures. Hold on! Range 2-3, we're hit! 2-4 is down, 2-4 is down. 2-5, break position and provide support for Alpha, over. Copy that, 2-3. We've got hostiles in our LZ, copy.
Roger. Bravo!